and welcome to the Tom Sawyer Show here on the Warrior Sports Network. I'm Grant Wall, joined as always by Winona State head football coach Tom Sawyer. And Coach, a tough one on Saturday night in St. Cloud. Almost one of those if you didn't have bad luck, you'd have no luck at all.
Yeah, I'm staying away from Vegas. That's for sure right now. Yeah, we played a good football game, and against a good football team. So going on the road, day trip. We started in the morning about 9:15 in the morning, loaded the buses, and made a long journey to St. Cloud, and really came out and played well in a downpour the entire game. We responded, played great. We're a little bit hurt right now. Our quarterback didn't play, and got some kids missing, but the kids who stepped in to play, like Jack Nelson and some of those other kids that had a chance to play, they did great. We just didn't finish the game, and we had opportunities. We go ahead with under 2 minutes to go. And you got to close people out, and we didn't do that. And it's 2 weeks in a row where we got kind of the last drive of the game got us, and so we got to do more before that period of time comes. But those are two tough ones to get, but they're both against good teams, and we expect to get right back at it this week and do some nice things.
You never want to settle for moral victories, but if you look at the game, you had a chance to win, took a lead in the final couple minutes. In a driving rainstorm against a team that's very, very good like St. Cloud, you put yourself in position to win. So there have to be a few positives to be able to pull from this one.
There's no moral victories not in college football. You either win or you lose. Yep. Yes, we saw some bright spots. We saw our football team play well in all areas. I mean, all areas played well. But when it's not well enough to win, it doesn't matter. So yes, we can find some good things. We don't look at it as moral victories. It's an old cliche, but really, did we learn from it? Yes. And will we respond? Oh yeah. The Warriors will be ready to go Saturday at 1 o'clock, no doubt about it. We're an angry football team that needs to go take care of some business, and we're looking forward to get back on the field.
One of those bright spots, and you mentioned him a little bit ago, was quarterback Jack Nelson, a true freshman playing his first collegiate game. To talk about his performance, especially in conditions that were less than ideal with all the rain that St. Cloud got.
Well, I'd like to say that we didn't expect that kind of play, but we really did. He's a great athlete. He's a kid that's very mature for a true freshman. He didn't run anything close to our offense over at Byron High School. It's just different style, different coaches, and he's responded well to it. I think he's a very good listener. Obviously, he's got a big arm, but when you're playing in a downpour, he was behind the 8 ball, man. Your first start, you're on the road in a tough place to play, and with a big football team and a big football game, and then it's raining. That's a recipe for disaster, and he chewed it up, man. He did a great job. Very, very proud of him. The offensive line responded, took great care of him in the pass protection. Didn't make any check errors. So really, the whole part of the game, he did his part in that game at St. Cloud.
And big plays early was the story guy. Hit Josh Mikas for a 54-yard touchdown to score your first points in the game. And then Paul Preston, a freshman running back, goes for 62 on the ground to set up another touchdown. So you have some big plays early from some really young and talented guys.
Yeah, really, going back to Jack Nelson, he scored his first touchdown, threw his first touchdown pass. Josh Mikas is only a sophomore. Jordan Koss got his first collegiate touchdown. Paul Preston, we set up this play that was a check against the particular front they had. Jack recognized it, checked it, and Paul took it to the 1. And and he's only a freshman. So you look at the skill that we have on the football team right now, in the skill positions, I should say, is very young, and that's pretty exciting for the future of the Warriors.
Talk about Paul Preston for a little bit. Listed at 5'4", so not a big guy, but he's a guy who had a couple great returns in your opener against Bemidji State. Also took a screen pass almost 40 yards in that game, and then breaks off a really good run and leads your team in rushing against St. Cloud. He's a really talented guy that you've got coming out of the backfield.
Well, you got to remember, and most of the people, they look at him, and it's been going on his whole life. You look at him and you go, that guy's short, he can't play, but I like him because I'm taller than he is. But more importantly, he was a starting tailback at Maine South High School in Illinois, one of the bigger schools in the state, one of the biggest levels in the state. They were two-time state champions or in the state finals 2 years. He's played a lot of big level football, and he's a competitor. And he's one of those guys that his whole life he's been told he can't do it because of his size and stature. Well, he is thick, powerful, strong kid, and he was our best blocker in the backfield in the football game.
Let's shift over to the defensive side of the ball. Another game where you did a lot of really good things defensively. Held St. Cloud under 100 yards rushing, so both games this year your opponent has been able to crack 100 yards on the ground. Another really, really good game out of the front of your defense first, getting to the quarterback, limiting the run game.
Yeah, our pressure was good. I mean, you talk about Kubler and Parker Detchens, who was our player of the week this week defensively, and Toby Frisbee and Will Sherrard, and it kind of goes on. And then when you add the linebacker crew, we play about 10 people or more up there, and they just were relentless. And in the rain, they were flying around, and a lot of pressure. If you look at the big plays that they did have, it was all scrambled out. Something where, Philip Claphocke, I mean, he's the player of the year in the North Division preseason. I mean, he's a great quarterback and been doing it as a 4-year starter. But we contained him, did a nice job. They got away a couple big plays along the way, but we really did a nice job, especially that front seven.
The biggest play for your defense, definitely Terrell Foster recovering a fumble, taking it to the house for a touchdown, a score that gave you the lead late in the fourth quarter. But Terrell's a guy who is really playing well early on this season.
Yeah, and he's an emotional cat, man. He's running around like a madman, and he plays his heart out on every snap. And the defense really does. They're setting the tempo for what kind of tempo we got to play at. But Terrell Foster is an every down, relentless player. He is so exhausted at the end of the whole thing. He gives you everything he had. So for that kid, in his 5th year and scooping up and scoring, taking the thing to the house, I thought he was going to pass out before he got there. But he did a great job. Got all the way in the end zone and put us ahead, and should have won the game right there. And that's where in 2 games now where you get ahead or have a chance to tie or whatever, and then we just had a letdown, and they came back with a couple penalty help at the last drive, but nonetheless, Terrell got us where we need to be, and that was to win the football game, and now we got to close people out.
Let's look forward now, Saturday against MSU Moorhead. A really good game coming home, a chance to play in front of your home crowd, your home fans. What's the biggest thing you're going to look for out of your team on Saturday?
Energy. We're going to play our tail off, and we have been playing hard, but this is going to be another level. That's all I really care about. I want effort and execution, and you'll see that from the time we walk in the stadium. It's going to be a little different tempo. That's what we're after. I'd rather make mistakes at 100 miles an hour, and so that's what we're going after. We really don't care about the opponents right now. Yes, Moorhead's a much improved team. Coach Lacko's done a nice job. They've gotten better from when we played them 2 years ago, and they can play. But right now it's all about us, about the Warriors and the tempo in which we play. We come out playing well, we'll have a good result.
That'll be a good one, 1 o'clock on Saturday. We're not going to put the St. Cloud State game to bed just yet. When we come back, we're going to look at the highlights of the Warriors' action against the Huskies last Saturday. And welcome back to the Tom Sawyer Show. Coach, a lot of highlights from that game against St. Cloud State. We're going to take a look at those right now.
Sounds good.
We're going to start out Warriors on defense, getting pressure again on the St. Cloud State quarterback.
Yeah, you see good pressure, both from the defensive line and also the linebackers all day had good pressure. And this first one, I believe, is Colin Corcoran coming off around the corner and getting his hands on Claphocke.
Rainy day, you can see it here in this picture, but Jack Nelson finding Tony Mueller.
Well, really both of them are rookies, even though Tony's an older guy, but for a baseball player, he handled the bubble there pretty well for us.
All right, back on defense are the Warriors. Now watch bottom of the screen, the edge, corner rush here.
Yeah, it's Larry Bayou. A nice pressure and kept his composure on the way in and let the play develop and again got a big sack for the Warriors and followed up by Chichi Ojik on a big run.
Yeah, a couple explosive plays in a row here for the Warriors, that run by Chichi. And now Jack Nelson's first career touchdown pass.
Yeah, he found Josh Mikas behind the defense and nice play action fake. Got the corner to bite just a little bit, and you can see Josh's speed. And that's a long pass in that rain, and Jack put it right on him.
All right, we're going to get to see Jack's arm, or excuse me, this will be a rush here by freshman Paul Preston.
Yeah, we saw something in their defense that we checked to. We just called it a Husky check and took the ball right up the pipe, and we hit it, and it was a lot of fun. When you make a plan on a week like that and then hit it, it's kind of fun. I wish he got in, but Jordan Koss took it in for him.
That gave the Warriors a lead. Now the Warriors back on defense here, a little bit more pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, and you can see it's just a four-man pressure, but he threw it out to the side, and another nice play over there by A.J. Schiff.
Pressure forced him to throw that short little check down, didn't go anywhere. Now the Warriors back on offense. Jack Nelson.
Well, you can see the protection he had and a chance to throw the ball up the field even in the rain, and that's a big catch in traffic by sophomore Alan May.
All right, back on defense are the Warriors. Couple turnovers on both sides. This one a fumble by Philip Claphocke.
Yeah, great job by our defense, creating pressure, buzzing the tower the whole day, and stripped him out a couple times.
And then another great defensive stop here in the red zone.
Yeah, when you get down inside the 10-yard line, you're flying people to the ball. You got to get a lot of Warriors to the ball, and you see at the end of that play, we had about half our team there on a tackle for no gain.
Warriors offensively set up the screen to Jordan Koss.
Yeah, Jordan does a nice job. He's only a freshman as well. Him and Paul Preston are both freshmen getting some time, and did a nice job getting us a first down.
Defensively, some read option. A good string out on that play. Didn't let Philip Claphockey go anywhere. And we're going to see another nice defensive play here on this play.
Yeah, guys are playing really well, and people talk about, we're 0-2, but at the same time, you see a lot of really great plays, and there's one in the back of the end zone with Tevin Ivey, new to the Warriors this year as a transfer from California.
Yep, keeping the Huskies from scoring points there when they were in the red zone. And now, again, being able to throw the ball downfield under pressure.
Well, he did have some pressure in his face there, and this is freshman Cameron Johnson. Big, strong target to throw to, and we get him and Josh and Alan May and the boys get going here when it's not raining and see how much damage they can do.
And this play, it was a major turning point when it happened. Terrell Foster's going to scoop and score.
Yeah, our guys did a great job getting after the football. And the ball comes out, and will come out here in this next play, I think it is. But just that defensive pressure, we got a scoop and score touchdown to put the game away. We just couldn't close the lid on the whole thing. But this was the play that should have won the game coming up here soon.
I was one play ahead of you. Here is going to be Terrell Foster scooping and scoring and putting the Warriors in the lead.
Well, we like when they pitch it backwards on the turf. That's always nice, and that does happen in option football. But you see, there's 5 guys running in the end zone with him. Really was a big play for us. And at that point, we should have locked up the game.
Another good defensive play by a newcomer in the secondary.
Yeah, it's Tevin Ivey again to finish up, and that was on their last drive, and had a couple big plays there, and he's really played well for us.
Coach, that was a fun look back on the game Saturday night against St. Cloud State. When we come back here on the Tom Sawyer Show, going to sit down with Winona State freshman quarterback Jack Nelson, talk a little bit about his first action as a Warrior. Welcome back to the Tom Sawyer Show here on the Warrior Sports Network. Grant Wall joined by Winona State freshman quarterback Jack Nelson. And Jack, last Saturday against St. Cloud, your first start of your collegiate career. What was it like going on the road against a good St. Cloud State team? What was it like to get under center and play for the first time?
I was excited just to play football again. It's been a while since I played again. I played this summer in an all-star game, but other than that, first time really getting some good snaps, playing a full game. It's just fun to get out there.
How was your preparation going into the week? Take me through that week. What did you do to prepare, knowing that John wouldn't be able to play and that you were going to get the start?
I go into every week preparing that I might have to play, so I'm preparing as a starter. So at any time during the game, I'm ready to go. So the whole week, Coach Keller and John were helping me the whole week, including Tom Sawyer, our coach, was helping me the whole week. So it was kind of nice.
What's it been like? We'll talk a little bit about the transition from playing high school football to college football. What's it been like to work with a guy like John, who has so much experience and so many things to teach you?
Oh yeah, it's from coming from high school to college, it's been a lot different for me. John's been there since day one, helping me with the reads, helping me with ball fakes, helping me with exactly where to throw the ball at the right time. He's been there. Anytime I have a question, he's there for me.
What's the biggest thing that you've learned so far here in your time at Winona State?
Well, Coach told me last week, getting ready for my first start, just go out there and have fun. Just football, it's just a game. I'm just going out there playing the game I love.
Let's go into that game against St. Cloud. Second play from scrimmage was your first collegiate pass attempt. It was a completion. You completed a ball to Tony Mueller for a nice gain. Once the play gets called, you know it's going to be a pass. You're going to be dropping back to throw for the first time. What's going through your head?
Well, it was a good thing. My first snap, my first pass was only like a little screen pass, so it was kind of nice. Just one little step, throw it out there. Tony, you got a good gain, so it got my confidence going. It was kind of hard throwing in the rain, but I got it done that day.
Talk about the weapons you have on offense. So many guys who can make plays. Does that give you a little bit of peace of mind as a quarterback, knowing that all you have to do is get the ball there and they'll be able to do something with it?
Oh yeah, we have great receivers with Josh, Cameron, Tony, Allen, a bunch of good receivers out there. Josh always joking around with me, just throw as far as I can, he'll get under it. So it's kind of fun, just slinging the ball around out there.
Saturday's game was played in a downpour. It was raining pretty hard throughout the whole game. Did that change anything that you tried to do as a quarterback, or did it affect you at all?
The only thing I changed by that game was just not to grip the ball as tight. If you grip the ball tighter and wet, it'll just flood a little bit more. So, just got to be patient, hold on the ball a lot better, get the snap first. Everybody else is playing slow too, so just football actually.
It's an 0-2 start for you guys on the season. What's the mindset going forward now? You can't win all 9 at the same time. You got to go one at a time. But what's that mindset as a team right now?
Exactly what you said. We got to take one at a time, but then we also have to finish games. We're playing. Last game we played really well. We just didn't finish the game. It's not just offense, not just defense or special teams. It's the whole team right now.
What's the biggest key to beating Minnesota State Moorhead on Saturday?
Can't take any opponent lightly. We have to come out there, just play game start to finish.
Awesome. Well, we will be looking forward to seeing the Warriors on the field on Saturday. And when we come back, we will sit down with one of the Winona State assistants on the offensive side of the ball, Tony Spencer. Welcome back to the Tom Sawyer Show here on the Warrior Sports Network. I'm joined now by Winona State assistant coach Tony Spencer. And Coach Spencer, it's your first year with the Warriors. You're 2 games into your season. You work with the offensive line. Give me kind of a little report on how those guys are doing so far.
They're doing very well. It's been a humbling experience coming here and being able to have guys, 4 returning starters that I can learn from, as well as teach a few things. So it's kind of been a learning process on both ends, me learning as well as they're learning.
You got here in the spring, and so it hasn't been that long that you've been in this program. How nice is it to have 4 returning starters like you do to maybe speed up that learning curve for you? You don't have to go out and teach the guys everything. You have 4 guys who are already into the system.
Well, it's a blessing in disguise, especially when you have your returning center, because he's really the quarterback of the offensive line, as I call it. So those guys have been tremendous. Up front, James Pollock, a.k.a. Polly, Richard Lilla, Vance, Ross, as well as Corey Christensen, as well as the other guys. But those 4 core guys, it's been a blessing in disguise, that's for sure. And glad that they're back, and it makes the transition a lot smoother.
2 games in, tell me about those 5 guys starting. What are some of the things that they do really well on the offensive line?
Communicate. Up front, it's all about communication and getting after guys. There's definitely a competition going on as to who's going to be the best that day at practice, and guys take a lot of pride in that. They take a lot of pride in that, and that's the one thing, going from pre-snap to post-snap and getting your job done. And because when we watch film the very next day, whether it's practice or games, those guys are usually, they're critiquing each other and grading each other, so it doesn't just come from me. It means a little bit more when it comes from your peers.
Tell me a little bit about, you're a guy who's very familiar to this Warrior program even before you got here. You coached at South Dakota, I coached at the University of Mary the last couple seasons. Tell me what you saw in the Warrior program from the outside looking in, and what made this program so enticing for you to come and join.
Well, I had a little history, of course, when I was at South Dakota, and Winona State came down and played us in the Dome in 2007, my 3rd year there at USD, and had a chance to meet Coach there, as well as talk to him a little bit at the coaches convention that following year when one of my former teammates, Jason Petrino, was one of the coaches here. Then, of course, kind of kept in touch with Coach or talked to him every time I saw him. And the last 2 years, of course, at the University of Mary, when they came down to play us, we kind of sit and talk on the sideline or what have you before games, and just kind of always been that sort of relationship. And when he ended up calling me, I couldn't pass up the job once it was offered.
At the University of Mary, you coach the wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Now you come back to coaching the offensive line, which is kind of your natural coaching position. Did those 2 years coaching a different position on the offense, did that help be able to see the whole picture offensively, or was that a benefit to you coaching-wise?
Well, you got to realize I started on the defensive side of the ball, then went to receivers at Carroll, and as well as tight ends and H-backs, fullbacks. So I kind of got the whole grasp of everything, but it was great to get back to the offensive line. That was the one thing going to Mary. It was a little bit of a change, and I embraced it and loved it. But I wanted to get back to the offensive line, and that's the one thing that I thought that this was the reason this was a great job, is to get a chance to get back to the offensive line. When
you're looking at offensive linemen, what are the things that you want to see most about those guys in the trenches for you?
Athleticism and an attitude. We talk about you have to have an attitude. That's what it's all about. We have a little saying called DOLA, and it's all about attitude and wanting to just kick the heck out of the guy across from you. That's the main thing, is wanting to win on every play. I tell my guys, you should want to win. If there's 90 plays, you should want to win 90 out of 90 plays, not 89 out of 90, not 87. And that's huge, and that's one thing that I constantly stress with those guys. You should want to win every play, but it's all about attitude when it comes down to it.
2 games into the season, you have Minnesota State Moorhead coming in here this weekend. What do you have to do against the Dragons to kind of right the ship a little bit and get going offensively?
Got to run the ball. You got to run the ball. That's the main thing. There's nothing more demoralizing when a team knows you're going to run the ball and you can still run the ball successfully. And that's the one thing we talked about yesterday. Is that, going into this game, we got to run the ball. We got to be the same team and the same guys playing as a fist up front, and get after guys on defense. It doesn't make any difference who you set apart or who you put across from us. The same job has to get done all the time, each and every play, just like we talked about with competing. So.
Absolutely. Well, it's going to be a great Saturday for football. 1 o'clock kickoff against MSU Moorhead here at Verizon Wireless Stadium in Winona. For everybody here with the Tom Sawyer Show, thank you very much for watching. We will see you next week.